Hey, this is Pamela Schneider. I'm the retail editor for Blue Book Services, and this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. Greg, nice sweater.
Yours looks pretty sharp as well. It's
Right?
our
Uh,
Envy holiday sweaters. I see some other people got some.
yeah,
Look
the
at
dog
that.
even had one on a second ago. Take your cough elsewhere. It ties in though to it was really fun to receive this giant box of sweaters from my family because clearly they even had one for the dog, but Chewy already abandoned me. He's like, man, it warms back up here in Texas, so we don't need it's not sweater weather anymore here. So it kind of ties in with something that I'm going to talk about. I My TikTok this week has been very Apple heavy, and I want to join the conversation as well. I just saw Caitlin from Chilean Fresh, and actually, or she's just a grower. I believe Chilean Fresh sells her crop. She had a really great video, and Richard Smalley actually talked to her for a story in producebluebook.com, and that did really well with our readers and the broader audience. But she had an informative video about apple wax. And then my husband sent me a video about some lady who saw it and took it completely the wrong way, where you're just like, I'm trying to help you out and like let you know what this wax is for. And this person was apparently unaware that apples were waxed at the store. And
Some people just can't be helped.
it can't
You
be
just have
helped.
to. I'll quote Scrooged here. Scrape them off, Claire.
Because I mean, the broader point that I want to make is that here in the United States, we live in apple utopia. And you know, people like to talk about how great the fruit is in Europe or whatever. They've got nothing on us when it comes to especially later season apples. We're going into the new year, and this is a time of year when, you know, without controlled atmosphere storage, apples start to get a little soft, like get a little mealy. The wax is not as shiny, but in our grocery stores, it is an amazing buffet of fantastic apples. And my boys and I are going to share some. I've got some Wild Twist, one of my favorites. That's a Crips Pink and Honey Crisp Cross. I've got Cosmic Crisp. That's the Enterprise and Honey Crisp Cross. I've got some Envies, of course. I've got some Opals. I mean, it is the time of year for me when apples start to just really shine in the United States.
Well, yeah, we get so accustomed to the varieties that are available year round. We're having to retrain ourselves to the ones that are seasonal. And this is the season. Almost all the good ones are coming out now, or
And
are out and won't be out forever.
and actually at the leaving the New York Produce Show, I was around a lot of the whatever their youth development program is, the college students, and all those kids just like me had bags and bags of stuff, and they were like comparing what they got. They were very excited about the mushrooms, which I wish I could have taken home, but I totally couldn't. But now what? Okay, come on, get up here. Sorry, he wants to get back in his sweater. Go.
Understandable.
So all these college students had their bags of loot, and they were comparing notes and talking about, well, which apple did you like the best and which apple did you like the best. And it was noteworthy that it was December 1st. And I said to the kids, I'm like, did you see anyone with any Cosmic Crisps? And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, Cosmic Crisp is one of the best apples. They're all New Yorkers, so it's not a native apple for them. And actually, Tim Harrington from Stamilt was sitting 2 seats up in front of them on the bus, and like reached back and was like, here kids, these are just available today. Today is the first day that you can get the new crop Cosmic Crisps. And all three of them tried it, and they all thought it was great, even though they're New Yorkers and they like their New York apples. So I just, apples are universal, I feel like, in this country, and it's so much fun to talk about what's available. But Cosmics, back to my point, were available year round this year, and they were fantastic all the way into the fall. So I mean, it just makes me happy that we've got such awesome stuff to eat here.
It's a true blessing.
Well, and far you've been out this week enjoying some the netherworld that is the time between Christmas and New Year's, where we don't even know what time it is. We've eaten too much cheese, that kind of stuff. The news this week isn't looking great as far as wet veg goes. It looks like we're going to see some issues with crops, including celery, broccoli, cauliflower, going into the new year. And the lime market, we've seen over the last, I feel like ever since I've been in the produce industry, we've had record high lime prices in the spring of, for some reason or whatsoever. Mainstream media picks up on it right around Cinco de Mayo, I feel like is when it really starts to peak and get to be a problem. But this year it started earlier than normal.
Yeah, it was really low throughout the summer, and I see that is starting to spike again. I mean, that is kind of the nature of the lime market. That's a lot different than what's going on with what we saw in lettuce, and the same disease problem that hurt lettuce is now affecting the strawberry or the celery crop. We did have a story on that a week or two ago, and that's when the prices dramatically rose from the California area, nearly doubling. I mean, they're around $80 a box now, and it looks like it's going to be that way for several weeks.
Yeah, and the thing is that it can go two ways. It depends on how consumers are reacting to their New Year's resolutions. It could be that we're starting to see things kind of taper off, no more veggie trays for a little while, or people could get hyper focused on juicing. It all depends. It kind of seems like it all depends on what goes viral on social media next. So if some kind of juicing craze goes viral again, and celery was a victim of that, or not a victim if you had it, but it was definitely affected by this celery juicing craze. And I'm wondering if that kind of thing is going to make the rounds again as we go into the new year and people really get hyper focused on eating well. That's never a problem for the produce industry. We always want to hear that. But right now it's not the greatest time in the world to be trying to get a good deal on celery.
There is plenty else available in the produce department for consumers who decide that next week is the time to start eating well.
Yeah. Next week. It's always going to be next week.
Right. Next
Start our,
week.
what kind of apple do you have? Uli just went and poached the apples that we have in the fridge. It doesn't have a PLU sticker on it, so it's probably one of the samples I got from Wild Twist. So
I hope
who
that's
knows?
been
No,
logged.
maybe it's an Evercrisp. It kind of looks, HEB had those for 97 cents a pound, so I bought a bunch because I love those. But for now, we're just gonna let it go, cut this loose. That's it for the Produce Reporter Weekend Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Oh my gosh.